Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my October Rooted video. If you're not familiar with this series, I will pop a link to the playlist above. You can go check it out. Basically, in a short synopsis, 2 years ago I moved from a big city to a small town. When I got married, it has been a challenge, to say the least, to find my footing here and to feel rooted and settled. And so I made Rooted my word for the year in 2017 and have spent the whole year trying to find a community and find my place here. And I've been chronicling that journey through Rooted videos. So this is October's, but I have one for every month of the year and one that explains the whole situation at the beginning of the playlist. So go check that out if you are interested. As usual, I do have my notes on my phone that I've kept throughout the month so I can stay on track during this video as I check in and tell you kind of how my October went. So this month was really interesting because I did mention last month that we were kind of slowing down on travel, and I wrote a blog post about slowing down, which I'll pop above if you're interested, but during that while I was writing that blog post, I was kind of trying to figure out how much we really had traveled, and we had gone on, through August 31st, we had gone on 8 trips and hosted 3 different sets of house guests for, I think all 3 of them were for long weekends, so about 5 days. Which, when you break that down, that becomes like every couple of weekends or every couple of weeks, like planning and preparing for a trip. So being at home this fall and being at home we've been at home this whole entire month of October. We will be at home all of November, and we don't travel until late December, where we are going to Maryland, which is where I grew up, where my family still lives, for Christmas. So we still have quite a while, quite a few more weeks to just be at home. And on one hand, that has been the biggest blessing. It's been so nice not to be thinking about travel. It's been so wonderful not to have to be packing up suitcases all the time and just to be here. But I also think that being here has illuminated or brought to light again some of those, I don't even know what the word is, issues, struggles, things that I hate, like, whatever it is, just about living here. When your mind is distracted in traveling, or at least when my mind was distracted in traveling, I didn't think about those things. And now that we're here for a few months, some of those things have bubbled to the surface. But I will talk about that a little bit more in just a minute here. This month on the friendship front, things have been very much the same. I have about 2 or 3 friends here, 2 that I see most weeks, and 1 that I see, more infrequently than that. And I'm thankful for all 3 of those women. It was a battle, to say the least, to even find one friend. So to have 2 that I see quite often and then a 3rd one that I'm able to see sometimes is awesome. All 3 have children, as I've explained before, so love them. And I talked about this last month. I have no ill will towards anyone. I love kids, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute too. But it's hard sometimes. Riley and I had a long conversation about it last night, and it's hard sometimes because, there's only so much that you can contribute to a conversation about, like, sleep training or weaning or breastfeeding or whatever. I guess the positive of that is that whenever we have kids, I will have more than enough people to talk about every aspect of child rearing with. But it's been good. I talked about the walking trail, the magical walking trail, last month, and I have gone on walks with a few of 2 out of my 3 friends. We have gone on walks on the walking trail, which has been, that's really, really nice. Just to get outside and breathe the fresh air and just hang out and chat, that's really fun. So we've done that a couple of times. I have one of those families is coming over for dinner this coming Friday night. So I'm really continually making the effort to schedule times to go on walks, to invite people over for a meal, I'm really trying to continue to do that. And make the effort, because that's the only way I'm going to continue to feel closer with these women, the only way that, we're going to deepen our relationship. And so I'm really trying. I'm really trying. So I mentioned earlier, that being here for all these months in a row, all these weeks in a row now, which is unusual compared to the beginning of the year, has kind of brought up some strangeness, maybe. Well, A week and a half ago or so, I had a full out, I would say meltdown would be probably the right word. It was not great. I don't know what really triggered this feeling or this set of feelings, but we were just driving around and I just started sobbing. It was just not fun. I think that I've grown past I'm not surprised anymore by really anything around here. I'm just not, it just doesn't surprise me. The things that were like, what? When I first moved here are now not that way because I've been here for 2 years. And so you just, you grow, things become normal. But, a couple weekends ago or whatever, we were like trying to figure out something to do. And it was like, there's just nothing to do. There's just nothing to do. And that wears you out. And so then the weekend after that was when I really was like, I just had a really hard day of just being really angry and crying and just upset, and just having a meltdown, just breaking down of just, the past few months, I felt really strong and really secure and okay. And I'm not surprised that that would, at some point, there would be kind of a meltdown moment. Unfortunately, that was the norm all of last year, like literally 2 to 3 times a week, having those kinds of just like fits of just anger and sadness and just being like inconsolable. And I'm really thankful that that's not the norm anymore. Now this is the first time this has happened in months of just feeling distraught and miserable and just hating living here and just all of that. And those feelings are probably never, I don't want to say that because I don't hope that, but I don't know that those feelings will ever change. I think I will always hate living here to some degree. There's nothing here. Like, I don't want to live here. I don't like this town. I don't like this city. I've met some nice, lovely people and I enjoy spending time with them, but I've never met anyone here who well, that's not true. I've met a couple of people. I've met very few people here who just love living here, who are just gung-ho living in Gainesville. It's not a great place to live. I mean, there's lots of issues with the city. I could go on and on. That could be a whole separate video, but I won't force you to listen to that. So the bottom line is I am learning how to just kind of thrive even if I don't like this city. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be like proud to live here and like thrilled to live here, but I do believe that it's important to make the best of this time and enjoy what is to be enjoyed here and enjoy the people here and just make the best of it, because living in misery like I did last year, that's no way to live. That's no way to live. And I do believe with all of my heart that God has a reason for me here, and there have been a couple of things this past month that have brought that up and really touched my heart of like little glimpses to what God might have for Riley and I living here. And that might be something I'll share later this year or later next year, or I'm not sure, but it's really exciting to see those glimpses. So it's like the movie Inside Out. It's like there's joy and sadness and they coexist. And I've felt that more acutely living here and throughout this experience than I ever have in my life, where there's this deep mourning and sadness of what could be if we lived somewhere that was not 100% lame. But there's also this joy of we have a very slow-paced life, and I love that. I'm able to pursue my own dreams and goals career-wise with my Etsy shop, blog, YouTube channel, etc., which in a bigger city, I don't know that I would have taken that step. And there are many, many more things that are really hard and sad and miserable, and that are really wonderful and joyous. And there's just a tension, and there always will be. And it's that way in any aspect of life. I remember when I was getting married, someone said to me, you're about to do something that will be probably your biggest earthly decision. And you are going to be so happy that you got married, and you're going to love your husband, but you are also going to mourn the life that you can't have now that you are married. And every married couple goes through that of like, you wouldn't change it. It's the same with having kids, I suppose. We don't have kids, but everyone that does have kids has said like, you would never change it. You never give your kids back, but you mourn the loss of the life. Many people mourn the loss of the life that they had before having children. Anyway, so that's not to say I'm like miserable and distraught every day all the time. I just think it's that tension of joy and sadness. And sometimes one of those bubbles up, and usually lately it's been joy, and that's been beautiful. And recently I had a little bit of like a 2-day sadness meltdown. It was not the most fun, but I got through it. One reason why I'm really excited that we are in town for the next few months is that my friend Jenny, one of my 2 friends, she is my pastor's wife, and she has 3 boys. I've definitely talked about her quite a bit before, because when you only have 2 friends, people know their names. Anyway, Jenny's littlest boy, Theo, who is, you've never seen a baby so cute. I love that little chunk. He's about 5 months old now, and Jenny and Casey had planned on going for a few different reasons why they're celebrating, but planning on going on a trip later in November. I think it's early November. And so I know that it's early November because I'm watching Theo. And so they asked if Riley and I would watch baby Theo for the duration of that time. And it's been this whole preparation thing. She's breastfeeding, so all of that and what that looks like, and then on my, whatever. And so, but it's been really, I'm really thankful that we're at home and I have the mental space to help them out and bless them in that way with being able to watch their baby. And I know that they trust us, and so they're, I'm sure there's some level of fear, I would imagine, but I know that they trust us, and they're able to go away with like a sound mind, knowing that we're taking care of him. And we are so looking forward to having him. It's going to rock our worlds having a 5-month-old for a week. We'll keep him for a week, but we are really looking forward to it. And I would not have been able to say yes to keeping him if we were in the middle of a season of travel. And so I'm really thankful that we get to be at home and enjoy him for that week. Additionally, my parents are coming for a long weekend in a couple of weeks here now in November, and I'm also looking forward to that. So those are 2 things that I am kind of looking forward to. So that's been my month of October. Nothing major has changed. I think I'm just becoming more self-aware in terms of that tension between things that are really great and awesome here and things that are really hard here, and just realizing that it's never going to be 100% great and awesome, but it's also never 100% horrible. There's always that middle ground, and trying to kind of walk that line and see what God has for us here. And we just know that God is using us, and He has a plan for us, and we are not here without a purpose. And we know that, and we cling to that, and we believe that, and we have seen that confirmed time and time again, especially recently. It's been really cool to see. I think as I've become less just depressed and miserable and more coming into thriving where I am, I'm seeing even more how God really does have a plan for us here. And there's been some cool doors that haven't come all the way open, but that have like creaked open, where we're beginning to see like glimpses of the future of awesome things that would come out of living here. And so I'm excited to share those things with you in the future if they do come to fruition. So that's kind of that. So that's been my October. It's been a good month. It's been a good month with a few really, really hard days that were like flashbacks from the past, and I'm glad to be moving forward from that. I would love to hear from you guys as usual. How was your October? What was your word for the year, and how have you continued to stick with it? What I cannot believe is that after this video, I only have 2 more, only November and December to film. And then I think I might do an end of December recap video, and I'm also trying to, well, not trying to, I already asked Riley, and he said maybe next month, we'll do that in November, that he would be willing to be in a video and talk about his perspective from what it's been like for him to get rooted, because he grew up here but then moved away, and then now he and I are a family. And so from his perspective, what it's been like getting rooted here, and then also what it's been like being the spouse of someone who has had some really miserable times and just kind of like what that looks like. I've gotten a lot of emails and comments from you guys where maybe you're the spouse that's more grounded and your other spouse is the one who has felt the way that I felt last year of just having a super hard time, or vice versa, and just kind of asking like what Riley's experience has been, because clearly he's intimately involved in this process as well. And so just because I'm sharing my side of the story doesn't mean that he doesn't have a whole other side of the story of what it's looked like for him. So hopefully that maybe next month we'll have him sit with me for part of or the whole rooted video. Let me know if that would be interesting to you guys to hear about that. Again, would love to hear from you. If you enjoy this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. That really does help me to know kind of what kind of content you enjoy and that kind of thing. And also, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure to go ahead and get subscribed. So I will check in next month with y'all after I have watched a 5-month-old baby for a week and my parents have come to visit. If you want to follow along with my journey of watching a baby, which will be really fun. I've spent a lot of time with kids, so I'm not like terrified by any means. It's going to be interesting because it's going to shake up our day-to-day life in a big way. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. My links are below because I'm sure I'll be sharing bits and bobs about that week all throughout, which will be fun if you want to follow along with that. Anyway, I will see you guys next month for this Rooted series, but I've been posting weekly vlogs. I'll put that playlist up above so you can check in with me. I've been posting at least once a week here, if not more, so you can follow along that way. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you had a wonderful October and are really looking forward to November. Bye, guys.